about here? Is it that are we chasing our tails right now? Because you're saying something and some people who are supposed to be in positions of leadership are doing the complete opposite. It's very annoying because these are the people who still pass out instructions and say arrest these people if they are disobeying the laws, and yet you see them with ease, like it's all normal, like it's a norm. Nothing is happening, nothing is trending, all clustered together. They are not acting like there was ever any news like coronavirus. And it's crazy because it's now the people, the masses, let me use that word, people who are not in this kind of positions that tend to, fall victim or be victimized by this particular people. We heard of this guy who was arrested. I think is Professor Ikiti's younger brother, who was arrested because he stepped out to get food for his
newly delivered wife.
And they arrested him. And then you see the security outfits and personnel standing to watch these politicians and these people elected in place in positions of power do the wrong things, and you ask yourself, what is going on in Nigeria?
And they're supposed to be like examples to people. Like people are supposed to look at them and be like, well, see what they are doing. We're supposed to be like this.
It's annoying. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. And he put it out there for everybody to see. We're washing our dirty linen for the whole world to see. Everybody's seeing what's going on. And you tell me these are...
They get clustered and they take pictures and,
Oh my God. It's crazy.
It's really crazy. And talking about flooding... Oh my God, that Umpolu Road. I don't know what exactly is going on around there, but they try to probably kind of fix the road. So they put some rocks and some things on the road so that it will be motorable. And
those
all that.
Rocks
and when you
the most detrimental things that could never happen to any car.
And then I'm looking at it that what is this supposed to do? Like to some extent, yeah, some people feel like it's okay, and they are even happy and smiling because the road is kind of leveled.
Better than.
But then, like the way the cars will go, just hit the ground. I think it's better for cars that are higher. And then talking about the flood, there's a road.
Roma Hollow.
Yeah, but there's a particular road very filled with water.
It's stagnant there.
Stagnant.
It's been there over time. Like it's not new. It's been there.
Yeah, and when it keeps raining, that place keeps piling up and keeps filling up, and I just wonder what's up with the people in that area, how they are going to be coping. That brings us back to the rain thing that we talked about, and then the whole drainage system of River State and some environment and all that, and then they're not even looking at them. We're not hearing some positive news about these things that we've invested into the drainage system, we're doing this, we're bringing Swambugi or something and we're fixing these areas. We're not hearing anything, so we're just wondering what the government is trying to do about all these things.
All right, well spoken. I guess that's how your day. Dave, was that how your day went?
Yeah, that was basically all.
Or just watching the PDP primaries?
Not just watching the PDP primaries. I got to see that particular, clip, and it just got to me, and it dawned to me that we are not really doing what we're supposed to do. All things happened, but not really worth talking about.
Okay, all right. I guess I spent my day just knowing exactly what a king or a ruler should do, or what a king or ruler shouldn't be doing or get involved in. Things like drinking wine,
all right,
strong wine,
okay,
not giving your strength to women, and so many things.
Are you sure?
But trust me, tomorrow you should join Today's Woman because we just might be talking about some of those things. But it's going to benefit the ladies more. So do well to keep a date with us by tomorrow on Today's Woman, 7 to 8 p.m. Now, this is Area Talk, and some days back, we saw a video of some set of persons talking about setting River State on fire, and that video has been condemned by so many persons. But the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amici, as he reacted to the crisis in the AP's that particular video. I quote his words now. First, in jail, because of the kind of words used in that video, I may have to address it. I believe that no matter how angry you are, no matter how institutions are manipulated, a judge once said, I'm allowed to be wrong. That's why you have the Court of Appeal. That's why you have the Supreme Court. So if you think that what the state judiciary is doing is wrong, then you go to the Court of Appeal, you go to the Supreme Court, and ensure you exhaust the due process. No matter your frustration, you don't have the right to take the law into your hands, says Rotimi Amechi, the Minister of Transportation. And well, that's his reaction. For those wondering if he would say anything about that particular video or not, to say something regards what's happening in APC, he finally has said something. And I'm sure you have your thoughts. Some would want to say, he did well. At least he said something. Some would say, well, is it timely? Try to pick up backlash regards to what he said. But whatever it may be, whatever your thoughts are on this particular statement or reply from Amici, I'd love to hear from you. And many other things have been happening at those states. PDP primary is going on currently, and APC had their meeting, and a whole lot is happening, which we will not be talking about on Area Talk. We'll try and concentrate on what's happening in our communities, what's happening around us. And regards to that, and well, speaking about what they call it, the contamination of public places in River State, I think they said they've been successful with decontaminating most parts in Obiapo and Falga. Now, this is what Edo State is doing as part of measures to contain the COVID-19 pandemic and safeguard the well-being of Edo people. The state government has intensified active case search activities across 911 communities in Edo. They're testing over 5,771 residents and decontaminating homes and offices of about 797 confirmed cases. So the State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Patrick Okundia, who disclosed this to journalists in Benin City, he noted that there was still poor compliance with precautionary measures against the spread of the disease. He added that compliance to all safety and health measures to contain the virus was imperative, as it would complement government's efforts at protecting the people, especially the state's aged population, who accounted for most fatalities recorded in the state. Ogundia said Edo State has so far recorded 797 confirmed cases, 5,559 suspected cases, 2,379 line-listed contacts, 346 persons of interest, and 32 COVID-related deaths, while 243 patients have been discharged. He said while the 5,559 suspected cases of COVID-19 were recorded in 17 local government areas of the state, 797 confirmed cases were recorded in 15 local governments of the state. Where I think the take-home here is the testing and the number of houses that has been decontaminated in Edo State. And I wonder why similar thing is not being practiced all over the South, and that's inclusive of River State. Now, public places have been decontaminated in Obiapo and Falga. How about homes of people that have come down with COVID-19? How about offices? How about organizations? How about hospitals? Places that people sort of always go to. But most importantly, houses and testing of individuals, residents, testing, community
door
testing, door to door. I feel that these are things that should be put in place. As much as we're trying to bounce back, as much as we're trying to get our economy and all aspects and sectors of our life back to normal, or even way better than it used to be, I think this is also the time we should use, since we're still trying to pick up. This is the time, the right time, governors or governments in different states should take to double your efforts and make sure people comply with the contaminating. If you cannot do it for the public or for everybody, you could just put equipment in place or the necessary things they will be needing for decontaminating, and make sure organizations get these things to decontaminate their offices, workspace, and even families get these things to decontaminate their houses as well. I feel this is very important, and we can start from here. It's a start to us getting back to our usual activities.
I feel like in as much we are not trying to trade off saving livelihoods, for saving lives, we should pay keen attention to the things that we are supposed to do. Now, you stated out some points that we should, the government should pay attention to what's the word? Decontamination of all this public places.
And door-to-door testing.
It shouldn't be something that we should deliberate on. It's something that should come in handy at the moment. It's something that we should, put at the echelon of our priorities right now. Like, this is what we are supposed to do. This is how things, because in few months from now, we're already seeing some economies of the world coming back into action and everything. So we should not be set aback when it comes to issues like this. The aviation sector, I saw pictures of the Port Harcourt airport placing out modalities on how things
to start operation.
Things will be for the post. It's not really the post COVID-19 era, but like after the lockdown and everything. But I think this particular thing should not be something we should drag on. We should go ahead and get these things done so that we don't go back and forth with deliberations on making the way forward or getting the way forward.
We've actually talked about this before, during the whole lockdown thing, where everybody was, talking about what the government was putting in place. Are we just sitting at home, or what exactly are we doing at home? But, the government is trying to do one of those things which we talked about, or which we thought would be one of those things that would be nice to do. And that is the decontamination of places. But what about the door-to-door testing? It's actually very important, considering the fact that the numbers of COVID-19 cases in Rivers State has really skyrocketed. Like, a lot of people, you get to hear like lots and lots of numbers of people who have died. The COVID-19 cases have increased like seriously,
drastically.
And then, and people are not even taking caution, and then places, they said Obiakpo and Falga. What about local government areas? What are they doing about it? What about in Rivers State as a whole? What are they trying to do about door-to-door testing? They should actually know that, well, there are going to be a lot of walking coronavirus patients in Rivers State because cases have increased drastically, and so therefore these people came in contact with some people that they might not have been able to trace or something. So a lot of things are going on, and then a lot of testing should have been done. And I appreciate what the Edo State government is doing, or what they have done, because it brings them closer every day to eradicating coronavirus in the state. So we just look forward to what the government is planning for Rivers State.
Is that ever possible to eradicate coronavirus?
Well,
until a cure comes up or we get a vaccine, I don't think it can be completely eradicated.
Yeah, but at least it will be reduced to the barest minimum. We won't be hearing cases like 500 plus a day. Then we'll be hearing like in each state they already have like 1,000. Already in Nigeria we have.
I think there's
21,000 or
so. 10. Okay, I can't recall the figure, so I shouldn't just go there. By WHO, but as of yesterday, the number of cases would see it's going to increase though by next month in the world as a whole, not just Nigeria. The lines are up. Let's hear from you. 0817 or 0810-951-0951. You call in and share with us your eyewitness reports, what's happening in your community, or you can also react to any of the stories we have given so far on the program. And meanwhile, some persons came up in Imo State to complain about payment of their pension, but the Imo State governor has reacted to that particular one, and he said that he appealed to them not to be too aggrieved against the government, as the temporary delay is to put things straight and ensure that the right persons get what belongs to them. And the governor regretted that the process of cleaning up the mess in the state pension payment has lingered unexpectedly, but assured them that he was not resting in his oars to ensure that he put smile on the faces of pensioners in Imo State. The governor, Hope Uzodimma, he said that discrepancies he inherited from the pension payroll actually what's delaying his administration from paying retirees their pensions. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you. Welcome.
Yes, Dr. Sabido calling from Port Harcourt.
Good to hear from you. Go ahead, please.
Yes, on the COVID-19 issue,
Mm.
I would like to say that it is very, very serious, especially to those that still up to now don't believe that it is real,
Okay.
because what their pastor said to them, which is one very important area. The government should talk to these clergymen. They are part of the people causing this confusion because of their selfish gain. Because telling their members how serious it is will keep them away from church, and that will affect their finances. Because as far as I'm concerned, that's their main focus.
Okay.
It is very bad, very bad. Their priority should be keeping these members alive, so that when this pandemic is over, they can come back to church and worship God the way they are supposed to do. So, on the other hand, the government, I must say that the pandemic is underreported. It's underreported. I know of like 3 persons that have complained of loss of taste and smell, and nothing is done about it. The testing is so low, so we should just at some point. I just feel maybe this COVID-19, like everybody will have his own fair share. It's that bad. It's that bad. That bad. So the government should step up their efforts on the testing and.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much for calling in. Well received, and I think we should also talk about that particular issue of COVID-19. Like the doctor said yesterday, if you notice or you feel that you've lost your sense of smell and taste, like you cannot smell things as usual, aroma, fragrance, so whatever it is, you cannot smell, and your taste bud ain't working properly. You eat food and you cannot really tell how it tastes. Please, they said, come down with coronavirus. You will not die. It is not a death sentence. You just have to get treated, boost your immune system, and you get back to life. Just stay healthy. Lost your sense of taste and smell. Please be worried about it and just go to the hospital. That is all. Not worry that you will die or something. Or just be worried that you have to visit the hospital, and do also pay a visit to the hospital. Go ahead.
Yeah, and visiting the hospital right in time. Somebody was trying to make a joke out of this yesterday. The person tried to say that, well, the doctors will come up again and say that the reason, one of the symptoms of coronavirus is menstruation or something. The person tried to make a joke, obviously. But then the thing is, with different cases coming up and ranking up, they keep discovering the things that could come wrong with you, or that you could come down with once you have coronavirus. And that's why they are telling you, they're giving you upgrades on everything that is happening. Since maybe your own is not coughing on anything, and then you feel like, well, you're fine, and then you notice that you've lost your
I think we should make this clear. Malaria is different from COVID-19. You might have
very, very
symptoms
different.
of
Very.
malaria. It could be COVID-19, but it is different from COVID-19. The symptoms of malaria and COVID-19 are similar. That's the point.
Yeah.
So don't misunderstand them. That's why it's always advisable you go to the hospital and get checked right on time, as early as you can. Dave, you're going to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to talk on the fact that, at some point it was becoming a trend with people losing their, sense of taste and smell and everything. And at some point, we were sick, and then it came back to us again. We suddenly discovered that we could taste and smell. But I'm trying to say that it shouldn't be the reason why you should not, or you should overlook the reasons that coronavirus is actually a very big factor in the society right now. So most of us who already having this sense of loss of smell and taste and everything, don't overlook that thing. Don't look at it like, okay, it's just one of these things that people are saying is happening, and they're recovering quickly, and it's just happening to me. It might be you that
stay at home and recover.
The casualty, so make the important calls. Let people know that this thing is happening to you, so the proper authorities can get up to you.
All right. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Hello, good evening, my sister.
Professor.
And good evening to you.
Good evening.
Thank you very much. This of COVID-19 is the fact that they want to do outsource testing. my brother, the whole center will be filled up. Because what makes me say this is that as at last week, there's no place that you go this Port. So we say, I have a slight malaria. The other one we say, I have a slight malaria, which I believe it is most of what is causing this malaria. Because I believe that I eat small. My father usually say that if you did not eat correct food, you will have malaria, you will have fever. That is the most problem that makes all these things increasing. People are suffering. This is that you are living that there is no single light. You will wake up in the midnight. If it is starting doing you will be many things that you're not even supposed to take. For that place, you will be high blood pressure. So make government, make they do something. People are normal because of this COVID-19. Because I don't even blame them because they never even suffer. Because I remember one of them will say that the only day that they suffer is the only time that they have a slight tire in the burner. So my sister, the government should do something for the poor in this particular state, so that this thing, not the increasement of this thing, will be go down. Without that, my sister, you just discover that the thing is increasing go. People are not eating where to sleep. Thank you very much.
All right, Professor Ekiti, thank you so much for calling in. Good evening to you. Welcome to Area Talk. Turn off your listening device.
Good evening, Puchi and Sue.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, this is George calling from Romeo community.
All right, Judge, go ahead.
Yes, I want to talk about what is really happening in Edo State. I think politicians should settle their problems. Understand? They should settle their problems. That is my opinion. Okay. I want to tell you what my neighbor talk. In Romeo community now, bringing in Romeo community, and there is a lot of development that is still happening. I traveled last week. I went to the Royal Highness University place where they did not community. I think so. It's taking as this rain is falling. Something is going to terrible that is going to happen there. Because when I went to those schools, and a lot of innovation have to be done in that place. Okay. So I'm calling on them. I'm calling on them. At least since the local government chairman, we have not in their plan. They have not even seen any of even a borehole, just a borehole, is drinking water. Understand? Let him be at least. Let him use for him to bring evidence of democracy and give for the rural people. It is not when election time will come. That is my own problem with this politician in Emma local government. It is when election time will come, they will start to manipulate our youth. They will start to brainwash our youth. In the aspect of Emma local government area, nothing is happening in Emma local government. Nothing is happening. Look at the local government chairman. That is why I'm mentioning that man's name. Because he's a youth. I know his developmental project. He has scattered all over in the land. Why can't some chief, some allies, who those things are huge? So do the needful for him to bring dividends of democracy to the people of Emma local government. The local people is calling for their road. Several things is really happening in there. Can you imagine the setup is security outfit? We are paying for it. We restored our life without no government presence. We are the one paying for our electricity, paying for security. Now by tomorrow you still come back to us and tell us that we should vote for you. That you can do this, you can do that. I think the neglect of Odegi Kingdom is my concern. They have already neglected the Odegi Kingdom since the region of this BDP administration. They have neglected Odegi Kingdom. There is nothing Odegi man has benefited. Not even development in Odegi plan. Please, I want them to have a rethink on it.
All right.
I want them to have a rethink on it. Thank you.
All right, Judge. Thank you so much for calling in. Good evening.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. Go ahead. All right, Apollos. What do you have for us?
Yeah, see, I don't have anything. I don't have anything for now. Maybe tomorrow. So, I want to complain about the road that the NDDC constructed from Omong to Eliasa Road.
Okay.
Hello, are you hearing me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Would you please, I want to urge on NDDC, they should please help us
since we have entered rainy season now, if you come to our road now, it's very bad. And the road that they constructed from Omo to Eleta, from Osiamu to Eleta, this road did not terminate where they end the walk. So the road terminated at Eleta playground, and they did not construct the road to that playground. So please, I'm urging on NDDC, they should come and complete the road, because that road does not end where they ended. And the contractor in charge have ended the work there. So please, I'm urging on NDDC, they should help us construct this road to where it ends, please.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I hope they heard you, and I hope they swing into action regards that particular one. Good evening to you and welcome.
Yeah, Buchi, this is my calling from Rumodogo.
Good to hear from you, Abraham. Go ahead.
Yes. Buchi, Bolu, I agree to.
Good evening to you.
Buchi, I was so surprised for our chairman of Remo government, Tom Alezi, about the Rumodogo. Because last time, I think that December time, so my lady has promised the Rumodogo to build either hall, the one he can fit, do for the community. Only hall he can do for community. So my lady have never done it again. We have never even seen the Thomas lady again for the community. Since he made that promise that he must build the hall, the one he can fit do. And we, as a group, we think that the Thomas lady, our timer, we need to afford it is not clear about the Rumodogo. I am telling you, because this thing now is very annoying. Government cannot do anything about the community, Rumodogo. People is really in the government. He's the chairman, and we hope for him. Rumodogo hope for him. This man just carry us, not go for grant. So I am telling him, because last time,
bro, I said the Karuna not gonna for grant.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Now, boss, we see the looker. So you know that this our husband, this our husband, one small problem with the soldier. They arrest them. Nothing. The soldier say they need the letter from the chairman. So my lady, not do anything. Our community suffer.
For spot member.
To bring them. They will come back. So my lady not do anything. And this is possible. Help you one way. For this they help. Because I do research roads. Problem here and here. But the obstacle will help us. It's the one not supposed to leave any matter of this part. The man supposed to look anything about this obstacle. Who not him for this interior? And the man say well. The man not do anything about the local government. Is the only. I don't know how they are ruling it. I don't know whether everybody go home. He cannot do anything about their depot. It's a failure. Because we don't know, it's a failure to him. Right. So I am begging the governor, let him help us to do this our road. Because if they are trying to help us, because we think that we can sell things and get this our road. But I see no any improvement to show that through this time this road will be work. So I don't know. I am begging. Every in our government, we have people who can do something. All what I will say, all these people, they can do that. I'm talking to governor. And governor will do something. Let them help us. I am begging. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Abraham, for calling in. And well, for those that like fashion, instead of wearing the normal marks we're all wearing, and they like that face guard, it's so beautiful.
I really even prefer that
fine.
one.
You prefer the face guard?
Yeah.
Bolu, which do you prefer?
The face guard looks cool, but then I still like the idea you will still see the person through the face mask.
Yes.
So I think I'll go for the face mask.
That's the mask that covers a part of your face.
Yeah, because
I sort of like that one because it gives you this mysterious look.
Yeah,
and everybody keeps, especially when you wear the face masks and glasses. But away from the fashionistic part of it, I think, NCDC has come out to say that the face mask is more effective than the face guard that Dave likes. It's more effective. The Director General of NCDC, Chikwe Hekwazu, he said this during the Presidential Task Force briefing today. He said anyone who opts for face guard must still wear a face mask underneath. So the use of face guards has become very common in the last couple of weeks, with governors and other top government officials or functionaries using it in public places. And that face guard is really expensive. I heard it ranges from 1.5 to they said 4,000. Yeah, and meanwhile you can just get your face mask for 300. 500 naira. In fact, they have face masks of 100
I'm not trying
naira.
to negate what he's saying, but I'm still trying to figure out how this makes more sense. The one with the normal face mask
to some
makes more
extent,
sense.
it's still open.
Yeah,
right?
it's open.
It's
the
open
sides
under.
are open.
The sides are
Below,
open.
beneath
So somebody
is
comes
open.
beneath you and starts talking.
Like
and
No, somebody talks to you.
You know,
and
you can
probably
stay in the
flash
air
by
for
your
some-
side, and
for
then
some-
you're trying to.
it can stay in air for some minutes, yeah. So I don't know, it just might fly into your. I don't know how it flies, if it gives wings or something.
all right.
But
Or
I feel
probably
that
if
is
you
more
raise your face
exposed.
up
It's,
and then
it's just more exposed compared to
somebody
the
talks
face
to
mask,
you.
because the mask
Yeah.
just covers you completely, so
mouth.
it doesn't penetrate. Yeah, but that one,
Yeah, because the
you're
mouth is still
doing
exposed.
guy.
Yeah,
Yes.
but that one.
makes you look like this very cute this biker
You're
and
doing
stuff.
nonsense guy.
But then they say you have to wear face mask on, and you now wear your.
I'll just wear the face
I
mask.
don't know. Was it on Twitter or so? I think it's the Delta State governor when he was with Edo State governor. I can't recall who, either the Delta or Edo State governor. He wore the mask, that's the guard, and also wore mask under. And someone tweeted, this guy wants to suffocate himself to death. At 5.1 FM. Good evening.
Good evening, Butcher.
Welcome.
I greet your colleague.
Good evening.
So, Butcher, is that time for people to invite Tonarese? People should invite this man for us so that.
We're listening. Are you there?
Yeah, no, you people need to invite this man Tonarese for us, because some community in the Emo local government we don't have anything. Even my community where I come from, this man is not doing anything. Even the single light that we're supposed to enjoy, at least enjoy by this, at least we're supposed to enjoy the light, but no light. And we don't have. I don't compare this thing. At this, I'm tired of comparing this thing. But this man, you people invite this man. So at this man, we can ask him some questions. Like some time, you people invite some time, but I don't know why more people. Why you people don't that you need to answer. Especially, I don't have
No,
like for how many
obviously
years.
you've
now,
not been listening to Area Talk, because I think I've had him here once or twice.
like this year or last year.
Last
Because I've
year.
been listening to it.
Don't like MOR people, and we don't invite the chairman. Meanwhile, he's been here. But I get your point. He needs to answer some questions, and if we're able to get him to the studio, of course he will be here. We're here for you, and they are also here for you. I don't think there are questions you would have that he wouldn't have an answer to. Not like I'm trying to defend him or anything, but whatever happens always has a reason, and just maybe something is actually cooking in the pipeline, and just probably he's not talking or sharing information. Doesn't mean he's not doing anything. Like I said, I'm not trying to defend anybody here, but just trying to see options why some things are not being heard
place.
of or being put in place or talked about. That's it. Do we have messages? Okay, you could send your message. I don't know if we can access the portal.
No, we
but
can't access it for now.
Let's try and make use of the phone line. It's still 0817-0051.
Community.
Good to hear from you. Go ahead.
Yes, my area talk is about the development in my place. Please, I want to make
Where is your place?
passionate appeal. Yes, Urundele community in Emoha local government.
Emma.
Yes. My passionate appeal is that since this government came on board 5 years now, there has not been anything where our people have not been carried along in any way at all. No project in our community. Appointment from the local government down to the state. The House of Assembly member has not cited any project. The local government chairman has not done the same. The governor has not equally done the same. And our people are beginning to wonder, what have we done to deserve this level of hatred?
coming from the state to the local, from the local to the community, because we are aware that the councillor is handicapped, so we cannot hold him responsible. So if there is any way you people can extend this my appeal to the governor or to the local government, they should please realize that Rundele community in Emowa local government is part of River State and would deserve, at least our people, whether accidentally or any way they will think about it, our people supported voted Samoge, voted in Tom Alesi, who is the local government chairman, and would deserve some attention. There are communities where they have appointments and yet their projects are going on. We don't have an appointment, we don't equally have projects going on, yet our people, those who are in the PDP, are well qualified to occupy different positions in the state, the local government, and in any way at all that the government deem it fit to appoint them. So please, some of us are not members of PDP, even if we are concerned, but let him look around within the ward level there, within Rundele community. He will have some of his members that are eminent qualified personalities there. Honorable Dandiro Ugo is there, Honorable Prince Obodo is there, Honorable Azubiko Odun is there, Emenike Wakama, so many of them who are his boys, who hustled from their pockets, who carried the party, suffered for the party from their personal funds, are there, and yet they cannot even pay school fees for their children. They cannot pay their house rent any longer in Port Harcourt here. The governor should see how he can fit them in the state, even if it's an essay, even if it's to join the Hussein Torah, any way at all he can fit them in, let him do, so that some of these persons who are the grassroots, who believes in them, can get one naira from them. They can equally feed. Since the government is not thinking of creating job opportunity, no empowerment, no investors, nothing. Let him see how he can help the people of Rundele. That is my point. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling in. 95.1 FM, lost that call. Like I pointed out, if it's possible we get the chairman here, of course we will. But we keep our fingers crossed regards to that particular one. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you. Welcome. Go ahead.
Yes, my name is Imam. I'm calling from Mba Etienne.
Welcome, Imam.
Yeah, please, I want to speak on the issue of the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management.
All right.
I have something bothering me. So I had on air that she's threatening to disengage Empower across the country, which is very unfortunate. So how can I can see disengage 500 Empower beneficiaries in this country under this pandemic? It's unfortunate without our proper planning. It's unfortunate. So if federal government try to engage Empower under this pandemic, that would be a country that is blessed with unlimited resources, but it's very unfortunate that we cannot be able to maximize our potentials for the benefit of the masses, rather after selfish interest, which is very unfortunate. Look at the cost of governance. A senator is collecting 36 million per month. 36 million per month. Empower, who is contributing more than senators, are collecting 30,000 naira per month. I can't beg this people appointment letter to enhance more development. Okay, apart from this Empower, can this administration, can this APC, irrespective of any political affiliation, I'm an APC member, irrespective of any political affiliation, can this administration come out with a blueprint for what they have done in terms of human infrastructure development apart from Empower? The answer is nothing, which is very unfortunate. Why can't they recruit more? The addition of 1 million to elevate people from poverty. You promise to elevate 1 million Nigerians youth out of poverty. Now you are trying to create more hardship, more unemployment, under unemployment. It's unfortunate. So the Minister of Disaster Management is not responsible for her responsibilities.
Well, before you attack and clamp down on the Minister of Volu is staring at me like that. Okay, so just before you clamp down on the minister, the thing is that this Empire thing, it's in phases. I think about 2 years or so. And after after the first phase, they are supposed to step aside so they get more persons. It's not a lifelong something.
Hold on. A number of circumstances. Initially, the Minister of Labour Employment, who is not responsible for responsibilities, told us on air that this administration will employ 500,000 teachers. It was not
So if you talked about Empire, and I will need to let you go though. But I was speaking of the Empire. It comes in phases, yeah. You don't just take one badge and it lasts forever.
Yeah,
It's not.
Yeah.
After the first phase, after 2 years, you step aside and then others come in. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Buchi.
Good evening to you. Welcome.
Yeah, who's Chima calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, Chima, go ahead.
Buchi, no doubt, it has become imperative for you to invite the chairman of Emoha local government. Let him come and explain to the people of Emoha what he has done for the past 2 years. Buchi, I regret, you understand? For me, that day I know there was heavy rain. I defied the rain, hold my trouser to go and cast vote for chairman of Emoha local government. But today, it has become some regrettable experience to me because I'm not seeing the reason what made me to leave Port Harcourt here and go and spend my time. It's as if they wasted time to me, Buchi, because all the promise that chairman made to us, no one has been fulfilled. You understand? Chairman promised Rumo to go home. We not see anyone. There's nothing like home in Rumo as I'm talking to you. This thing is there. I went to the village on Sunday. It's just the same. Even the road, he promised to grade the road. I never, even though yes, we agreed. But, Uchi, I told Chairman bluntly that, look, this road, we don't need it to be graded anymore. We need the road to be tied once and for all so that the people can have a road that is accessible. Uchi, by the grace of God, we are in the verge of obtaining our permission from the police. There will be a protest of all protests in Rubodogo community. We are going to block a community road to be able to register our displeasure. We are going to do everything within the power, you understand, within the ambit of the law to be able to register our displeasure.
All right.
Because Rubodogo, we can no longer keep quiet. In respect of who all is God, I'm ashamed of the people who say they are politicians, who follow their fellow counterparts sheepishly without seeing anything, and they keep quiet because they don't want to stop. They don't want.
All right, Chima, you should wrap up now. We need to let you go.
They'll be giving them peanuts.
All right.
It's a protest of all protests. Thank you very much.
All right. Please keep us updated regarding this particular protest. Yeah. Dave, thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you very much.
Boluwatife Jagede, it's a pleasure to have you here
Of course,
always.
Of course.
Of course. All right, I am Bachirafwa, and that's the package of Area Talk. And tomorrow, you cannot afford to miss today's woman. If you're a woman or you're a guy, for guys, there are lots of tips you would love to know, trust me. And for ladies, there are lots of things you'd also love to know from the inside to the outside. So please do well to keep a date with us tomorrow. She's Boluwatife, he's Dave Roberts, I am Bachirafwa. It's been Area Talk on your premium talk sport news radio station, Today 95.1 FM. Stay tuned. Opinion poll is up next shortly.
Radio has never been this good. Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the alarm is the one who made the public know about
it. Good afternoon and welcome to the world news on your premium talk radio station.
We are your premium talk radio station. Today 95.1 FM, the station with a unique dial.
95.1 FM, voice of the people.
And we're back.
Driver, if not that Muslim man, me I no go enter this your motor. Because I can't enter that motor with this Muslim.
Madam, enter. I take go baby. What to well, if this woman enter this car, I go drop. I go drop from this car.
I don't want to enter. My chief and his chief
driver, I go pay you. I go pay you.
Make I do something now.
I go pay you.
Let go.
I go pay you. I be allergic. I go pay you. No carry that woman. No carry that woman.
Madam, may una hear me now. Christian and Muslim, don't be the same Nigeria we be. We be brother and sister now.
No carry that woman. I go pay you. Make the go.
You go pay me.
I go pay you.
Make I go.
Do we need to be guarded by one religion to meet with the Creator? The freedom of worship is a natural right to every being. Why raise arms to drag a man to accept your choice of belief? The spiritual directors now trade the message of salvation for hatred and disrespect of other religions. For all our struggles are aimed at eternity, and choice is the principle of identifying your own God.
Whether Christian or Muslim, we are all one.
Hey, you have a point anyway.
If love is the pathway to eternity, let's walk together as one in love and give respect to a man's choice of worship.
Wallahi, Yanuya, don't worry, I will pay for you. Oh, yeah, I will pay for you.
This information is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
My fellow country people, I know say this season no easy at all, but make we no worry. Everything go dey stable very soon. You see this coronavirus, it go soon become old story. Make we no lose hope. Make we just try follow everything when news they tell us. Wash our hands with soap and running water. Use hand sanitizer join. And most importantly, try sit down for house with our family. Oh yeah, relax. May we just dey dance cocoa below. Because we know say everything go better for the country. This coronavirus himself go waka pass. Make we try stay safe. Now today 95.1 FM power this message oh. Now we be the voice of the people.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1. We are your premium talk radio station. Today 95.1 FM. The station with a unique dial.
Have you heard that coronavirus has been confirmed in Nigeria?
My brother, don't panic. The Federal Ministry of Health and Nigeria Center for Disease Control have advised that everyone should do the following to stay safe. Wash your regularly with soap under running water. Use hand sanitizer if there is no water. Cover mouth with bent elbow or tissue when you cough or sneeze. Dispose the used tissue and wash your hands immediately. Avoid touching eyes, nose, mouth with unwashed hands. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects and surfaces such as door locks, tables and chairs. Avoid close contact with sick persons or anybody coughing or sneezing.
Please, Mary, what are the symptoms of coronavirus?
Any person infected with coronavirus can have fever, cough, difficulty in breathing and shortness of breath.
Don't panic. Coronavirus is preventable. If you have traveled to any country with reported local or community transmission, stay indoors and away from people for 14 days. If you develop any of the symptoms mentioned above, call the Nigeria Center for Disease Control NCDC toll-free line 0800-9700-0010. Disease Control and the World Health Organization WHO. This message is from the Nigeria Center for Disease Control NCDC, the Federal Ministry of Health and partners.
Every child deserves to be happy. Every child deserves to laugh. Years after Nigeria adopted international prohibitions on child labor into law, millions of children in the country are still engaged in child labor activities. The International Labour Organization estimates that about 25% of Nigeria's 80 million children under the age of 14 are now in the workforce. Every child deserves a childhood. Let us all rise in every hood
to give every child, regardless creed, belief, or tribe, a pleasant childhood filled with laughter. This message is brought to you by the voice of the people. Today 95.1 FM.
You deserve more from us. From Great Talk.
Is it a celebrated feat that people should be dying? Don't we have government? I think that should be the focus and not who is behind it.
And then Chief Loveday.
What else do I say? Killing is killing.
For their past
News and entertaining programs.
News update on Today 95.1 FM. Thank you for listening. Good morning.
TOFFE.
This man knows that we space.
Now you do this kind of thing.
I go do this kind of thing now.
You never be this man. You never know the best way.
Honey, now your brother.
Stay glued to this dial. Today 95.1 FM, and we will do the rest.
Excellent.
There is never a dull moment of this dial. But let's get on now to what is happening here in Nigeria.
In the southwest, we have 136, south 131, southeast 30. I'm not talking about the ones that died months ago. And Mr. President is busy traveling.
The foundation in this democratic era we're experiencing today, honestly, believe me, this person soiled it. At the time he was tearing his party card, I was very ashamed. He didn't know that he was tearing himself. How long will you keep on complaining?
We keep you informed, thrilled, and inspired. I need to select. I like every kind of woman. But man, light skin does it for me. No, I'm not racist. That's what I'm saying. I could take anybody. You know what I'm saying? We are your premium talk and Pulse Radio. Today, 95.1 FM. Don't touch that dial.
Alright. We've got to go. It's 11:30.
This is Today.
Peace is a situation where there is no war or violence in a society. Peace allows wealth to accumulate and the society to advance.
Through peace, generations of wealth, education, technology can build up, thereby making people very prosperous and happy.
Without peace, there will be violence, war, and underdevelopment in our society. The most disadvantageous peace is far better than the most just war. Let us embrace peace for a better society.
This message is brought to you by your premium talk radio, Today 95.1 FM.
It's what I pray for all around the world. It's what I pray for my.
Some people will carry human head in their boots and they will not charge them because they are collecting bribe.
When they go collect salary, then go say government need to pay them way.
All these taxi drivers safe. They don't even get papers. Even driver's license safe, they no get.
Hey, you back there. Hold on there.
Their cars are in bad shape, very, very bad shape. They have no ethics of driving. That is why they will continue to bribe so that they can have their way.
I will shoot you down. I will shoot you. Headlight, you no get. Side mirror, you no get. Motorway to where carry animal. Now you take put for road to carry human being. You don't even wind the motor when rain they fall. You no get conscience at all. Take, you be number 15. You be number 5. More than no forget on a number.
Let's allow them do their job. Do not obstruct justice by giving or taking bribe. Avail yourself a check. Even you, Oga driver, stop reckless driving and always update your papers. This information
is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM.
Voice of the people.
Officer, give me change. Now 1,000 I give you.
Lassa fever is an acute viral hemorrhagic illness caused by Lassa virus. Humans usually become infected with Lassa virus through exposure to food or household items contaminated with urine or feces of infected mastomys rats. Many of those infected by the virus do not develop symptoms, but when symptoms occur, they typically include fever, weakness, headaches, vomiting, and muscle pains. Less commonly, there may be bleeding from the mouth. The risk of death once infected is about 1% and frequently occurs within 2 weeks of the onset of symptoms. To prevent an infection, please properly store your food in sealed containers. Keep your environment clean and ensure your environment is rat-free. Do not consume any item suspected to have been contaminated by urine or feces of rats. Be safe. If you experience any of the symptoms mentioned, visit a doctor as soon as possible. This message is powered by Today 95.1 FM.
You deserve more from us.
From Great Talk.
Is it a celebrated feat that people should be dying? Don't we have government? I think that should be the focus and not who is behind it.
And then Chief Loveday.
What else do I say? Killing is killing.
For the attack.
News and entertainment programs.
News updates on Today 95.1 FM. Thank you for listening. Good morning.
GOFFE.
This man knows at least face on.
Now you do this kind of thing.
Hi, I go do this kind of thing now.
You never be this man. You never know the best way.
Honey, now your brother.
Stay glued to this dial. Today 95.1 FM, and we will do the rest.
Excellent. You're welcome to the program. Let's talk. Flood has become a major issue in our society. Was there no proper drainage done for this flood? What to be done? And it gets me thinking.
You see how difficult it is for them. Not all hosts know about the game. Hello and welcome to your number one news and talk radio station, Today 95.1 FM. We've got loads of news and gossip for you, but first off, let's go on a commercial break.
Radio has never been this good. Today,
glad you know now.
My fellow country people, I know say this season no easy at all though, but make we no worry. Everything go dey stable very soon. You see this news they tell us, wash our hands with soap and running water, use hand sanitizer join, and most importantly, try sit down for house with our family. Oh yeah, relax. May we just dey dance cocoa below. Because we know say everything go better for the country. This coronavirus himself go cap us. Make we try stay safe. Now Today 95.1 FM power this message. Now we be the voice of the people.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
95.1 FM, voice of the people.
And we're back.
A very beautiful evening to you and welcome to Opinion Poll. That's the program on your premium talk
News Sport radio station, Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. I am Buchira Fwa, and like I said, welcome to Opinion Poll. So tonight we will be looking at issues happening in both the APC and PDP. Now, there's been lots of reconciliation going on in both parties, and things seem to be taking a rather different U-turn compared to what most persons imagined, especially with the APC. And so the president, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired. According to the Punch on Wednesday, he declared support for the suspended Deputy National Secretary of the All Progressive Congress, that's Victor Giadam, as the party's acting national chairman. So the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, in an interview with a Punch State House correspondent in Abuja, said Buhari would attend Thursday's, that's today, APC's National Executive Committee meeting convened by Giadam. Now, rather than resolving the APC crisis, Buhari's declaration of his stand actually threw the party into more confusion as 17 members of the National Working Committee insisted that the NEC meeting conveyed by Giadam was illegal. The NWC members also said they would not attend the meeting, insisting that Buhari was blackmailed to support it. The problem in the APC NWC came to head on Tuesday, as at last week, when the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja upheld the suspension of the party's national chairman, Adams Oshomole, by the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory. At an emergency meeting on the evening of the same day, 17 members of the NWC loyal to Oshomole appointed the former governor of Oyo State, Senator Abiola Ajimobi, as acting chairman. So Giadam, in a counter move, together with two other NWC members, addressed the June 17 when he declared himself as the acting chairman. He backed his action with the judgment of the Federal Capital Territory's High Court, which in March gave him the go-ahead to be the acting national chairman. Now, that was the first judgment. Despite his suspension by two Port Harcourt and his replacement as the Deputy National Secretary on Tuesday issued a notice of the APC's NEC meeting, which held today rather. But the Ajimobis led NWC, as at on Tuesday, said having been suspended from the NWC, Giadam was not qualified to convene the NEC meeting. But on Wednesday, the presidency said the president had thrown his weight behind Giadam as the acting APC chairman. So Shehu disclosed this. He said via a tweet rather. He said the president has received very convincing advice on the position of the law as far as the situation in the party is concerned, and has determined that the law is on the side of Victor Giadam as acting national chairman, because he will always act in accordance with the law. The president will be attending the virtual meeting Giadam called for today. According to the court, tomorrow afternoon, which is today afternoon, earlier today. Back to the court, we urge the media to stop promoting manufactured controversies, to not give any further room for mischievous interpretation of the law on this matter. In addition to the president, the Giadam meeting will hopefully be attended by our governors and the leaders of the National Assembly. So that's it. Now, 17 members of the NWC said Buhari. But the APC National Secretary, that's Waziri Bulama, in a statement in Abuja, as at Wednesday still, he said, our leader, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is renowned for insisting on compliance with our constitution and rule of law. Well, now 17 members of the NWC they told governors that Giadam's notice for that meeting should be disregarded. I quote their words: it can
therefore not be true that President supports the convening of such an illegal NEC by a non-member of APC's NWC. We urge all to disregard the said notice, as neither the NWC nor the NEC has called for such meeting. We are constrained to once again react to a purported invitation to a National Executive Committee meeting of our great party, the All Progressive Congress, issued by one Victor Giadom, who until the last general elections in 2019 held the position of the Deputy National Secretary of the party. Our esteemed members are advised to disregard this invitation because the author and sole signatory of the said invitation is not a member of the National Working Committee of our party. Talk more of being an acting national chairman as claimed. He had voluntarily signed in compliance with Article 31(1)(i) of our Constitution to contest the position of deputy governors in Rivers State during the general elections, and has not been re-nominated by his zone to return to that office. Further, his non-membership of the NWC has been affirmed by the court, and an order restraining him from parading himself. They went on and on and on, but I think the bottom line was for governors to not pay attention to that particular meeting that was called. That's the one that took place today by Victor Giadom. That was said by 17 members of the NWC. Well, the Ajimobis-led NWC also rejected the invitation that was extended to the members to attend the NEC meeting. The NWC said this in a statement jointly signed by the acting national chairman Hiliad Ita and the acting national secretary Waziri Bulama in Abuja as of Wednesday. And then they said that the president was wrongly advised and blackmailed into agreeing to lend his weight to illegality. The statement read, and I quote now, "We wish to unequivocally state that members of the National Working Committee believe that the president was offered wrong advice or blackmailed into lending his weighty office to the illegality of the National Executive Committee meeting purportedly convened by one Victor Giadom on 25th June 2020. We hereby respectfully implore Mr. President to kindly avail himself with facts of the matter regarding the impasse presently experienced by the party so as to guide him in his assessment of the matter, because we are sure that the president is properly advised and would come, if the president properly advised, would come to the conclusion that the meeting convened by Victor Giadom, Chief Victor Giadom, bothers on illegality and criminality. They had so many things to say. They went on and on. While the chieftains of the party deferred on the NEC meeting, the Plateau State High Court on Wednesday granted an interim injunction compelling the APC to hold the meeting today. The court was presided by Justice N.I. Musa. Granted 4 prayers sought by the plaintiff, Mr. Leteb Dabang. In his motion on notice, the APC Giadom and Mustafa Salihu were listed as first, second, and third defendants, respectively. Well, and some of the APC governors contacted by the Punch deferred on whether they would attend the NEC meeting convened by Giadom. And when contacted, the Ogun State Governor, Dapo Abiodun, he said he had not received any invitation to the NEC meeting. But well, that's the story, and that's how it's played out in the APC. But today we have a completely different story, and the meeting held, the president was part of the meeting, and some other governors. That's the meeting that was scheduled by Victor Giadom, Chief Victor Giadom. And well, it came up with new things. So during the meeting, the National Working Committee of the All Progressive Congress was dissolved. And this was part of the decisions that took place at the meeting of the APC National Executive Committee at the council chambers of the presidential villa in Abuja. The decision to dissolve the NWC was based on the recommendation of President Muhammadu Buhari. Take a listen to this one.
This meeting may adopt the developed resolutions as contained in the agenda and pass resolutions including A. Approving the immediate discontinuation of all pending litigations involving the party and its members. B. Ratifying the primary election conducted in Edo State. C. dissolving the current National Working Committee, and D, appointing caretaker. I believe that the issues facing us at the moment are very serious, and as such requires that we take very firm and clear decisions that will be in the interests of the party. This is the time to get our acts together and ensure that we are united and not working at cross purposes. It is important to discontinue all litigations involving members of the party, which are connected to issues of the party and in respect of which several court orders and counter orders have been issued against the party and some specific members of the party. This directive has been issued by the party before. Unfortunately, some members failed to heed the directive. Thus, at this time, it must be made a resolution of the party which must be effectively enforced with dire consequences for members who choose to ignore the directive.
All right, that's President Muhammadu Buhari. Part of his speech during the meeting, he condemned the recent crisis that's been rocking the party, stressing the need for members to enforce party discipline. And he subsequently appointed Yobe State Governor Maimala Buni to head the new caretaker committee, an extraordinary convention planning committee for the party. And Malabuni was immediately sworn in at the meeting by the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami. The president also expressed worry over the shifting loyalty within the ruling All Progressive Congress, which he called inconsistency in leadership, which he said had opened the party to mockery. He said it was clear that the party's fortunes were currently in jeopardy. Now, according to the statement by the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, the president made this his position known in his remark at the emergency meeting of the party's National Executive Committee held at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Now, that's what's currently going on with the APC. Now, on the other hand, the PDP for Edo State, their primaries is ongoing, although so many persons have condemned the fact that social distancing is not being observed in that primary. I really exactly what the current development is regards this particular PDP's election. But as soon as I get information on exactly what's going on, of course, I would share with you. But you should know that the former governorship aspirant of the People's Democratic Party in Edo State, Kenneth Imaswabon, has said he stepped aside for Governor Obaseki because he wants godfatherism to be defeated. Now, Mr. Imaswabon also said Governor Obaseki's performance as the leader of Edo State inspired him to set aside his ambition. He said this on Thursday during the PDP governorship primary election in Edo State held in Benin City, adding that he wants Obaseki to continue his impressive work. According to him, he has been a victim of godfatherism and will help the Edo leader fight anyone who wants to enslave the people of the state. Now, earlier on Tuesday, Imaswabon vowed he would never step down for anyone during his appearance during an interview. And that's the current stand. Yeah, Imaswabon has stepped down, and the primaries is ongoing, and so many persons are speculating that Obaseki just might end up being the flag bearer of the PDP during this forthcoming governorship election in Edo State. Now, he spoke on godfatherism, and it made me wonder. I think at a point, Obaseki said something like he would never leave the APC. I'm not quoting his words now, but he said something similar to that. He would not leave the APC. APC is his party, and all the rest of it. All he wants is peace. He's ready to, settle down for peace to be restored in the party and the rest of it. But at the end of the day, he left PDP. He left the APC for the PDP, and it makes me, when they talk about godfatherism, I wonder what exactly is the difference between is there any difference in what Obaseki is doing? But now back to the APC with the current developments. The question tonight is actually, Do you see possibility, knowing fully well that the president has said every litigation should end, and court cases should be resolved, and everyone should try and come together to lead the party forward? Some persons feel like the president's intervention is not timely at all. A lot has happened. A lot has been going on. There are lots of bad blood in some members of the party currently. So some persons are speculating that the president's intervention is not timely exactly. But the bottom line is he's there now. He has taken his stand. But do you see a possibility of some disgruntled member coming up tomorrow and saying, well, as much as the president has said what he said, we still would want to challenge what is going on in our party? We have, and even the NWC that has been dissolved. Do you see a possibility of some persons, both from the APC and the PDP, coming up to say, well, that's disgruntled members, that is, coming up to say, well, we don't completely agree with what's going on, and we're going to court for this particular reason and that particular reason, feeling, however, whatever it is their prayer would be. But do you see a possibility? And on the other hand, knowing fully well, and like I said earlier when we started, initially with what was happening within the APC at the national level and in Edo State, so many persons were of the opinion that, well, these people would not produce any candidates with how things are going. But currently you can see how much they are all trying to put their house together. Meanwhile, the primaries that brought up Ise Yamu still stands, says the president. Well, at least that's what came out of the meeting. And when I saw that, I was like, well, this feels like a win-win for everybody if you look at it, because Adams Oshomele's candidate, so to say, was Ise Yamu, and sort of that seems like it will still stand, and Victor Giadam is still winning. Well, some persons are not, but for some of them it's still a win for them. But all this being said, both parties are trying to put their houses together, and it makes you wonder what the governorship election in Edo State would be. Now, APC is settling in, PDP settling in. We're resolving our issues. We're bringing a candidate. We're resolving our issues. We have a candidate, and we are waiting for the forthcoming election. And I wonder what your opinion is, what your expectations are regards the forthcoming election. And like I asked earlier, do you see possibility of disgruntled members coming up tomorrow, especially for the APC? There's a possibility. It might happen with the PDP, but with the way things are currently, especially for the APC, do you see possibility of some persons coming up to say, well, we completely do not agree with what's happening, and we still would want to challenge this in court? That's what I'd love to hear from you tonight, your opinion on these issues. And it's 0817-0000951 or 0810-9510951. And I just might not be able to take your messages. Let's work with the phone lines for the meantime. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening to you. Welcome.
Yes, it's Clinton.
All right, Clinton, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to first of all congratulate Obaseki.
Oh, he's emerged?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
At least, and PDP member, at least for overnight peace. PDP have tried to make peace, and some people stepped down for him. At least they try. They did a good job there. But concerning the APC, I'm not a member of PDP, I'm not a member of APC. But the way that they do Obaseki, so I didn't like it. And concerning the APC, for our president to involve himself for this party meeting. I mean, I believe that this thing came late. At least our president, I wonder that our president can attend meeting, APC meeting, or can even speak, can even walk. I was surprised. I'm seeing our president attend this meeting. Because, some states, example, Imo State, if not that court give the governorship to at least the person that is charged now. At least Imo State will lose their APC will lose their governorship this mandate.
Okay, so your point is.
Yes, River State here is the same thing. APC lose their mandate, and there are some states too. And this man didn't say anything. This man didn't. At least you see them. I remember one campaign that he attended. He said, "Vote for me and vote any choice of your party." So, and if this man can come up now and begin to settle peace, and I believe that this peace will not be settled, and some people will go to court to challenge this issue.
Okay.
Because it's too late for him to come up.
Good evening.
Hello, Buchi.
Good evening to you. Welcome.
Good evening. This is ID.
All right. Good to hear from you. Go ahead.
Buchi. APC. They didn't regard rule of law. This is a political party that I've seen in this dispensation of our democratic system that has killed our courts. Now, how can the president now come to tell me that everybody should go and withdraw the case in court? Meanwhile, the court is now giving a verdict today that APC should hold the meeting, isn't it?
Okay.
Now, there is a court in River State who expels Victor Giadum, Chief Victor Giadum, to become a member of APC. Has any court set aside that judgment?
Well, these are judgments. I think the first and initial judgment was that Victor Giadom should be the acting national chairman. And after that, there's been so many judgments. Well, which one stands? It should be the first one.
Which one is the first one?
The one that said he can be the acting national chairman.
Good. The one that said he is acting national chairman. If you look at that judgment, from the initial stage, that judgment was wrong. It ought not to be. I can confront the judge to tell him that what he did was wrong. Because there was an originating summon on this case pending in River State High Court before that expert motion.
Okay.
Why don't you acknowledge that a court of coordinate jurisdiction is adjudicating that matter before you grant that motion of expertise?
So your point is...
Now, Mr. President is now running in without setting aside that judgment that expelled Victor Giadom from the party. He's now running in to tell me that he has cancelled the National Working Committee, of which the National Working Committee was not in court with anybody, but the issues ranking about Victor Giadom has any court, superior court set aside? Of course, no. And you didn't even want to know whether the court is existing or not.
So what's your point now?
People will challenge this because we are no longer in a military era. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution. Let's hear from you what you think. 00817000095. Good evening and welcome. Congo, it's good to hear from you tonight. Go ahead, please.
My sister, let me tell you one thing. This is what we have been expecting long ago. The president to speak. As the leader and father of APC, he has spoken and is banding. Forget about these former NWC members. For me, they are all modern. They are confused. Because all the activities, the way I see it personally, was not straightforward.
Okay.
We are working for a particular party, thereby spoiling the party. But now, people were clamoring. What is it?
Hello, are you there?
Late. Are you hearing me now?
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. And people are saying he's late. What's late there? He's been able to study all the things that were happening, all the things that happened. He's been able to pick up the substances he found, and now he has spoken. For me, as far as I know Buhari, he has 3 years to live. Only them that have their interest whatever thing they do, if all of them are leaving the party, let them leave. If APC says, we will go home and relax comfortably because it's better than all of them, because what they have in mind is not what they might have. I am really sorry for the former MWC because they failed completely. Thank you very much, Ibuchi.
All right. Okay, in addition to all that, like the other caller said, Obaseki has emerged the Edo PDP candidate. Well, that's for the September 19 governorship election in the state. The party made this known today at its primary held at the Samuel Ogbemudia International Stadium, Benin City. The election today was Governor Sheyi Makinde of Oyo State and Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State, amongst other party executives and delegates. Also, the governor's senior special advisor on new media, Jack Obinyan, said via his official Twitter handle. He tweeted, and I quote, "In case you haven't heard, Governor Obaseki's returned unopposed emerges as the flag bearer of the official PDP NIG ahead of September 19, 2020 gubernatorial election." 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Hello, Coach.
Good evening to you. Welcome.
Woman of God.
All right. Good to hear from you today. Go ahead.
I am a core human leader in APC here in River State.
Okay.
I want to tell you that what our president did today is the final. Oh, anyone that tries this quietly and leave the party. The matter in APC has ended it, and this morning we have been jubilating. So anybody that's saying that to have problems again, the person will die. We're not going to have any problem.
Sir, you said the person will do what?
Will die by fire.
Okay, I don't think you should. I don't think you should go that far. We're just sharing our opinions. If someone calls in and say you that is saying you are a ABC woman and you're supporting this, you die by fire. I wonder how you feel about that. I'm sorry, I had to let you go there. Good evening. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. This is Chris. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, Chris, go ahead.
You know about this after using container finish, this bottle can. I think when you use them finish, you throw it. And at times when you throw it, you can of contact. That's what APC have been doing. They have finished using Adam Oshomole. They have thrown it. You see how the politics is playing in Nigeria? Where are all those people that say if they try this, Adam Oshomole, we get for your back? Wait, go ahead, write down. Hey, do this. Our back check. Where is them? All of them. Nobody sympathize with it. I want Adam Oshomole where is the dance APD that day when they remove Obaseki. In the dance. Say in the remove Obaseki or this thing. You see how God they do something. Politics is something, and the politics in Nigeria. Me, as I watch politics for Nigeria, I don't use two legs. I use even my two toes. I have to use trailer. They watch politics for Nigeria. That day for election, now me and you go there for studio. I watch you live. So how will I go to report them? So people will go vote, they will go die. God no go green. Nobody go like the one we have for time. Now so would they what they give them feedback. Update now you know. Now so me they play politics for Nigeria.
All right.
So let our youth let them know get to sense. Let them follow people where they say they die for one table. And it is our this. Adam Oshomole is our this and this. All on this thing they know how for their compound. Those people where they see where they say they do this.
All right.
After using all the area, then go dump us. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Speaking about the Oshomole, like I pointed out earlier, well, he sort of was in for whoever emerges as the flag bearer during that primary that was held. And, well, some persons feel Yamu is his candidate. So if Yamu still stands as the flag bearer for the APC, do you think that's actually a lose for whoever was supporting Yamu? Well, your thoughts. It's 0817000951 or 0810-951-0951 at 5.1 FM. lost you there. Good evening to you. Welcome.
Hello,
Mr. Sam, it's good to have you. Go ahead.
Yeah, how was your day?
It went well, thank you. And yours? How did it go?
Very good. I'm good.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Gucci, you see, some persons has become whether it's good lawyer or judges on radio, and they will come up and they will agree with the one that suits them and disagree with the one that did not suit them. What kind of, let me buy from the words of Aguma, the midwifery aspect. He has midwife, very brief, and the baby has been delivered today by the next meeting. So what are we talking about? I want to appreciate and applaud the president for what he has just done. And if you look at the president's speech very carefully, if you listen to it very carefully, the president says they should go and withdraw every case that is in the court. And if anyone fails to do so, discipline will be met on that person. So nobody can
but isn't that just
of APC,
yeah? As much as he is the leader, isn't that just imposing things on your members? Because if you are not satisfied with a particular issue and you're going to court, I think that's the right process and that's the right way to go about protesting your concerns. Yeah. So why should it be compulsory that everybody has to go withdraw all the litigations ongoing? Isn't that compelling and too much of making it mandatory for the members? We're supposed to have a free will, a freedom to do whatever. If we agree, fine. If we don't agree, we challenge it in court.
Gucci, the president is not imposing anything on anybody. If you listen to his speech on that meeting, he said they earlier told some of these persons who failed agreed to go and withdraw their cases. They refused to adhere to it. So the party and the president has been too lenient enough for these people. So now that they want to put in, because they gave them the chances to do what is right, but they choose not to do what is right. Now the party has taken not just the bull by the horn, but the entire bull to make discipline, because the party has constitution, or the constitution of APC, one of the constitution of APC. I'm not an APC member anyway, but I hear them talking about their constitution, that if anyone who takes the party to court, which is one of the things that make Obaseki to be disqualified, one of the penalty that they met on him, that if you take the party to court, they will sanction you and discipline you.
All right.
So the thing is that let me tell you, Buchi, the PDP will know. Forget about the people's money that are being spent all over on the tax collector and the tax payer, the Obaseki, which the Wike came out to tell us. So they will continue to spend the money. The man who was saying 2 billion naira, that the supporters said they will sue him to court for 2 billion naira if he withdraw. So if he hands up, but now he has collected that money, and now he says he's trying to stop Godfatherism. Then he didn't told us about Godfatherism, that he wants to support Obaseki to fight Godfatherism.
Okay.
So this Edo people's money that they are spending, time shall tell. Obaseki should know that he is not going to that office again. And he will have to pay for every single penny that he's spending with these people, and then they will not be with him. Just like all the use of Kalu, when he went to prison, nobody was there with him, and it was that PDP era that he did all the atrocity that he did. So these people, they don't want to change this PDP, and that is why I don't like them. They don't want to change. It just came, somebody just jumped in and you say you grant him a waiver. See how they will continue to create a systematic way. And the truth is that, let me just round up for another caller. You see everything about the court here in our state, people should not be boasting of it, because we know one man has pocketed the justice system here, and whatever he decide or say, that is what will be the judgment.
All right.
In our state.
All right, need to let you go now. I wonder who you're talking about. And I wonder who would pocket the justice system. That's not how it works, though. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening to you. Welcome.
Yeah, this is Ibrika Felix.
All right, Felix, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm calling from Onega.
All right, go ahead, Felix.
Yes, I just want to congratulate Obaseki for his victory as a PDP flag bearer.
Okay.
Whatever propaganda people are carrying, Wike did not tell anybody that Obaseki gave anybody 2 billion. It's only in Rivers State here that they are carrying that propaganda. So whatever they want to say concerning PDP and Obaseki, that one is their business. But the truth is that it to be a good fight between Obaseki and Israel. Yes, understand? Then the issue of APC. Me, I know that that issue when when they were talking about it, I know that this APC issue will end the way it has ended. I think it was good wisdom of the president, and he came to separate a good fight. But that the two wrangling party, the two group that has been fighting each other in the party, everybody now should arrest. All court issue, flying right and center, right, left, and center. Everybody now to lay their sword and let the party move on.
All right. Yeah, the question now is, would everybody stick to shifting their sword for peace to reign and for whatever the president has declared to stand? Would everybody subscribe to that? Speaking of Obaseki and all the expenses, it was reported that he has spent about 43.5 million he has spent on buying governorship forms of the All Progressive Congress and the People's Democratic Party. That is how much was said or was reported has been spent for buying forms for both the APC and PDP. That's for Governor Godwin Obaseki. At 5.1 FM. Good evening.
Good evening, Buchi.
Good evening to you. Welcome. Go ahead.
It's me, Dicky Lobo Joran from our
You're welcome.
You see all those politicians, though it's a state, and the River State is another state. So the issue of Edo...
Turn off your listening device.
Okay. The issue of River State and Edo are different. So you see this is the Iyamo.
Okay.
Both of them fought for the last election. And now they have exchanged themselves. Look at Obaseki has gone to PDP. Is a Yamo remain in ABC.
Okay.
Let us look what will happen.
Exactly.
But we should not fly any news to any of them. Let us leave them. Anything that comes from God, it will happen. That is my thought.
All right. Thank you so much for your thoughts on this one. Let us leave them. Anything that comes from God, we take it like that. But while we are watching and seeing how it unfolds, who could have imagined that the president would have weighed in this situation, let's say 3 days before now? Would you have ever imagined? But well, he did. Some persons felt like him keeping quiet is more mature than all that. I wonder how they would feel. I'm Buchi Rafwa, and it's been Opinion Poll, and I really appreciate your calling in your opinions and your thoughts. I like that we are all passionate about about what's happening in our country, but we're all trying to see how we can move the country forward and better our political arena. That's all we have for you tonight on Opinion Poll. Coming up shortly is the world news, and do not forget, tomorrow is Today's Woman, and trust me, it will be a blessing upon your life. Highly interactive, entertaining, and educational for you to be a part of Today's Woman. Call your sister, your girlfriend, your fiance, your wife, your female daughters, even the male folks can also be a part of the program. So join us tomorrow on. I am Butchira for the world news is up next. So stay tuned.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people. Radio has never been this good. Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Every day, every hour. When the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today 95.1 FM. Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today 95.1 FM.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News.
Good evening. This is the world news on your premium talk radio, Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. I am Butchira Fwa with the headlines. From Oyo State, Governor Abiola Ajimobi dies due to COVID-19 complications. The National Chairman of All Progressive Congress, Governor Maimala Boni, promises fairness for all members of APC. And women in Ogoni and Niger Delta demands transparency from High Prep in Ogoni cleanup project. And on foreigners in U.S. Supreme Court rules asylum seekers can be turned down by American government. Now the details. The immediate past governor of Oyo State, Abiola Ajimobi, has died at age 70 after battling coronavirus-related symptoms for months. Ajimobi, who was governor from 2011 to 2019, was named the deputy national chairman, south of all the ruling Progressive Congress last month, but never resumed. The former governor was hospitalized at First Cardiologist and Cardiovascular Consultants Hospital, Lagos on June 2nd, 2020. The National Working Committee of the All Progressive Congress has been dissolved. This was part of the decisions that was taken during the APC National Executive Committee at the Council Chambers of the Presidential Villa in Abuja. A decision to dissolve the NWC was based on the recommendations of President Muhammadu Buhari.
This meeting may adopt the developed resolutions as contained in the agenda and pass resolutions including A. Approving the immediate discontinuation of all pending litigations involving the party and its members. B. Ratifying the primary election conducted in Edo State. C. Dissolving the current National Working Committee. And D. Appointing caretaker extraordinary convention planning committee for the party. I believe that the issues facing us at the moment are very serious, and as such requires that we take very firm and clear decisions that will be in the interests of the party.
The president condemned the recent crisis within the party, stressing the need for members to enforce party discipline.
This is the time to get our acts together and ensure that we are united and not working at cross purposes. It is important to discontinue all litigations involving members of the party, which are connected to issues of the party and in respect of which several court orders and counter orders have been issued against the party and some specific members of the party. This directive has been issued by the party before. Unfortunately, some members failed to heed the directive. Thus, at this time, it must be made a resolution of the party which must be effectively enforced with dire consequences for members who choose to ignore the directive.
Meanwhile, Well, the full caretaker committee of the APC has been constituted, while Yobe State Governor Maimala Buni is the chairman of the committee. Senator Akpanu Odoedehe from Akwa Ibom is the secretary. Others are Osun State Governor Isiaka Oyetola to represent Southwest, former Senate President Ken Namani. For Southeast, APC governorship candidate in Bayelsa David Leon. For South-South, Abba Ari. For Northwest, Professor Tahir Maman. For North-South and Niger State Governor Sani Bello for North Central. Also in the committee are Stella Okorite to represent women, James Lalu for the physically challenged, Senator Abubakar Yusuf to represent the Senate caucus, Akinyemi Olaide to represent the House of Representatives, as well as Ismail Ahmed to represent the youth. Meanwhile, chairman of the APC, Governor Buni, while speaking with newsmen at the party secretariat, promised to be just and fair to all members as the party seeks a permanent solution to its crisis. One of the leaders of the All Progressive Congress in Rivers State, Senator Magnus Abe, has said the National Executive Council neck of the party is not the best place to resolve the crisis in the APC. Senator Abe said this in reaction to the crisis rocking the APC across the country while speaking in the media before the NEC meeting of the APC. He said the numerous court orders and crises are distracting President Muhammadu Buhari from delivering good governance.
I don't think that the problems are as big as they are being played out. We don't have a constitutional crisis in the All Progressives Congress. What we have is a political crisis, and every political challenge needs a political solution. And my own fear is that the NEC may not actually be the best place to arrive at a political solution to the challenges in the All Progressives Congress. Contrary to what people are saying, everybody in the party knows who the key actors in these problems are, and some of them may not even be members of NEC. I would think that if we have a situation where the president meets with some of his people and talks to them to allow for peace to reign.
The former senator who represented Rivers South East Senatorial District also denied allegations that he is collaborating with Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike to start crisis in the APC.
The National Party Secretariat now, we have problems, and with two factions have emerged, people have gone to court and all that. No, how come nobody has accused those people of conniving with Governor Wike? How come Wike is not involved in that particular one? Why is it that if we have a disagreement in Rivers State, which is clearly political in nature within the party, and people stand up for their rights, they have to be sponsored by somebody else? So I think some of those issues are not just nonsensical, but they are clearly irrational, because you have to be able to support what you say with the facts that are on ground. The foundation of the problems in the APC is known to everybody. People bought forms in the party. The party held a meeting and said they would participate in their congresses. And at the end of the day, somebody came and ordered that they should not be allowed to participate after the party has taken their money. Was that decision taken by Governor Wike?
Under threat to his life by some individuals said to be members of the APC in Rivers State, Senator Abe advised the Minister of Transportation to hand over those in the video to the police.
And several kinds of behavior. For me, what I would like to say about that is to, in as much as I don't want to join issues with the Honorable Minister, is to appeal to him. He should do more than says he knows the people. We know that he knows them. So he should go beyond saying that he understands their pain. These are people who have threatened to kill me and burn the state and all that. He should hand him over to the law enforcement agencies or assist them to apprehend him and bring him to book. That's how we can make Rivers State better. But if we sit down and we allow people to behave in a manner that gives the impression that the entire state is lawless, and the people, and you heard the boy say at the end of the video that nothing will happen, and he has a reason for saying that. The other time,
the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amici, says governance is the degenerated in River State. Amaechi was speaking following the series of court orders from the River State Judiciary in the matter concerning the All Progressive Congress. He claimed that the legacy of the state has been allegedly battered under the current administration.
No, what is happening in River State, I don't know. And believe me, I don't want to know. Don't do. Because you see, if I come out, I told before here, I said, this is not the state we left. This is not the state Okilo governed. This is not the state Spiff governed. This is not the state Rufus Ada Judge governed. It's not the state. So what do we talk about? When people are hungry, they catch the next government. You can hardly have a position in Nigeria.
Members of the All Progressive Congress and River State have continued to speak on the possible means of resolving all crises within the party and the state. The cross-session of the party faithful and chieftains who were led by one of their leaders in Arashi region, Henry Oboma, on a visit to party secretariat on Aba Road in Port Harcourt, called on the caretaker committee to see the issue of reconciliation as a top priority. Obama, who is also the Chief Medical Director of the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital, also appealed to all party members to withdraw all their pending litigations. Obama, however, expressed confidence on the capacity of the CTC-led Sokonte Davis to take the party to a desired level, just as he described as a welcome development, a decision at the National Executive Council meeting of the APC.
APC is the greatest party in Africa. APC is the party driving the nation to its destination. Any well-meaning Nigerian should be proud of any good thing. Since the coming of this caretaker committee led by Sokonte Davis, I can tell you that everybody who has sympathy for APC is excited and very happy about that. And that is why I decided to come with my friends to come and congratulate them and to identify with them and to encourage them to make sure they reconcile the party and take us to the destination that we're going, and to make sure that they put us on the right path so that all the people yearning for good governance will be happy come 2023 when APC will be in charge of the whole country.
In his response, the caretaker committee chairman of the APC, Sokonte Davis, while dismissing reports that the APC in the state is factionalized, assured of their commitment in reconciling the party members. He also welcomed the recent decision of the National Executive Council.
The rise with you, it just calls for excellence. It just means that you cannot do a shoddy job. For them to come and say we support your team is a vote of confidence also. And so we appreciate the support, and we shall do everything within our powers by the grace of God and with this type of support to ensure that the party is well positioned. Our priority is to reconcile everybody. We don't want to rest on the ears that, we have started contacting some of our members who feel aggrieved, who feel they should take actions in their own understanding, in their own ways.
Some women leaders from Ogoni and civil society organizations from across the Niger Delta have alleged the High Prep does not operate an open, transparent and accountable process that allows women to fully participate in its processes. The women in a communique read by the spokesperson of Coalition of Ogoni Women, Patience Osarore Gigi, described the proposed training of only 1,200 Ogoni women on livelihood activities across the 4 local government areas of Ogoni as an insult to the sensibilities of Ogoni women and a grossly underestimate the scale and complexity of the needs of the women. Osarore Gigi also said that the failure of High Prep to provide health registry and monitoring frameworks force women to bear the burden of caring for their sick loved ones and providing for their families.
High Prep does not operate on an open, transparent and accountable process that allows women to fully participate in its processes. Recommendations. High Prep should develop a gender policy that meets international best practices for the implementation of its clean-up activities in Ogoni. In the interim, while High Prep is in the process of developing the gender policy, the agency must begin to take affirmative action by ensuring that 30% of employment contracts and interventions are set aside for women and the issues that are important to them. High Prep should implement all of the emergency measures recommended by UNEP with deliberate speed to reduce the burden that women in Ogoni bear. High Prep conduct a comprehensive needs assessment that confirms with the international best practices for the Ogoni women.
The women recommended that HYPRAP should begin affirmative action by ensuring that 30% of employment, contracts and interventions are set aside for women and the issues that are important to them, adding that 2,000 Ogoni women be trained annually on livelihood activities after a comprehensive needs assessment has been carried out.
For better skills, like some of them want to further their education, some want to go for ICT training, some want to build other skills, not just Gary production to speak for. If they have that, then they can know the number of persons that are actually impacted in terms of maybe cancer, reproductive health challenges, issues around respiratory tract infections and all that. HYPRAP is no longer working the way they ought to work. They are actually working and representing the multinationals rather than representing the communities. If you want to see the effect of all.
You're listening to the World News in Today95.1 FM, Voice of the People. After the break, more news, foreign and sports stories to stay with us.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM. 95.1 FM. Voice of the people.
And we're back.
Thanks for staying tuned. Just on to the world news and Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. Justice I, awardee of a state high court sitting in Port Harcourt, has refused to grant a 50 million naira declaration for damage and injection in favor of Chief Innocent Wosu and others of Omwekune family in Iboeche in Eche local government area of River State against Beatrice Amadi and Comfort Chooks. Chief Innocent Wosu and other members of the Omwekune family had approached the court in a fundamental human rights suit and declaration against the defendants for allegedly demolishing their property worth millions of naira on the order of customary court on 21st of July 2017. The presiding judge, Justice Ward, in his judgment, ruled that although the claimants proved their case, they are the rightful owners of the said property, but did not prove with evidence the location of the said property. Counsel of the claimants, ANI Nwawike, after addressing his clients outside the court, told our correspondents that he will study the judgment and seek advice from his clients on the next line of action. A.N. Okwebo, who is counsel to the defendants, declined more comments on the judgment. The World Bank has said the collapse in crude oil prices coupled with the COVID-19 pandemic is expected to plunge the Nigerian economy into a severe recession, the worst since 1980s. The World Bank, in a new report titled Nigeria in Times of COVID-19, laying foundations for a strong recovery, estimated that Nigeria's economy would likely contract by 3.2% this year. The bank said if the spread of the virus become more severe, Nigeria's economy could contract further. The report says before COVID-19, the Nigerian economy was expected to grow by 2.1% in 2020, which means that the pandemic has led to a reduction in growth by more 5 percentage points rather. According to the report, with a drop in oil, government revenues are expected to fall from an already low 8% of GDP in 2019 to a projected 5% in 2020. The country director for Nigeria, World Bank, Shubham Chaudhuri, said while the long-term economic impact of the global pandemic is uncertain, the effectiveness of the government's response is important to determine the speed, quality and sustainability of Nigeria's economic recovery. Non-foreign, the military wing of Islamic Hamas movement has warned that if Israel carries out the plan to annex parts of the West Bank, it will be a declaration of war. The MAX spokesman of the Al-Qassam Brigades, Abu Obaida, made the warning in a short video message posted on the group's social media accounts. He said that Israel must understand that the armed Palestinian resistance considers the annexation decision a declaration of war. Meanwhile, Hamas movement spokesman Fawzi Bahom said in a press statement that the statement of Abu Obaida, the spokesman of the Al-Qassam Brigades, carries a strong and clear message to the Israeli occupation. The Supreme Court in the United States has ruled that asylum seekers who are turned down by immigration officials do not have a right to make their case to a judge. Washington Post reports that this is a win for the Trump administration and its desire to quickly deport people who enter the United States illegally. The ruling was 7-2, although the usual undercurrents of an ideological divide on the courts were present. Two of the court's liberals dissented, and the other two agreed with only with the outcome in the specific case. On entertainment, the Dubai Police Force United Arab Emirates has revealed how it arrested Nigeria Instagram celebrity Ramon Abbas, aka Hush Puppy. The Dubai police, in a video posted on social media, said a special team had been tracking the suspect, and he's discovered that fraud amounting to 168 billion naira had been committed by the gang, adding that no fewer than 1.9 million people from different parts of the world were also said to have fallen victims to the suspect. To end the news, here's a summary of the major stories. Former Oyo State Governor Abiola Ajimobi has died due to COVID-19 complications. The new national chairman of All Progressive Congress, Governor Mala Abuni, has promised fairness for all members of the APC. Some women in Ogoni and Niger Delta are demanding for transparency during high prep on the Ogoni cleanup project. And on foreign scene, you heard that the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled asylum seekers can be turned down by American government. And that was the news edited by Chinedu Iwuna. For comments and inquiries, please call 08153418657 or 08144343502. Or send your emails to news@todayfmlive.com. You can also read our stories on www.todayfmlive.com. Do not forget, take responsibility, wash your hands frequently. With for listening. That's a package for the news tonight. I am Bujira Fwa. Good evening and good night.
Today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.